Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm TheMonk, and today we're going to be doing a review for Stellaris Console Edition. Now, I know this game has been out for some time. In fact, apparently it's been out for 5 years. That was news to me. But here it is. So Stellaris is a 4X grand strategy game. It revolves around space exploration, managing the Empire, diplomacy, and space warfare in a galaxy, or a universe even, filled with other civilizations. Stellaris is published by Paradox Interactive. It's currently on the PlayStation, Xbox, and the PC, and it will set you back around £31.99 or $39.99 US dollars. Now, I've actually been putting off doing a review for this game for some time. The reason is it's not because I don't like the game, but it's because this game is so goddamn in depth. This is a massive game, a monstrous game. If you was to try and complete every single achievement within this game, it will probably take upwards of 200 plus hours. It's a huge game, and it's a game that keeps evolving as well. I think from when I very first started playing this game on a console, on the original Xbox, it's had 2 or 3 major updates and upgrades since. Not only that, but it's had a tremendous amount of DLCs being added as well. In fact, eventually the console edition should go in line with the PC edition. The PC edition has, even yet more upgrades and DLCs that the console edition currently doesn't have. However, it did recently get quite a big upgrade. And because it got that upgrade, I thought that, I'd jump back into it, give it another go, see what's what. Now, it's not really give it another go. I never gave up on this game. It's just that this is a massive game. This is not a casual game. It's not a game that you can kind of pick up and go. I tried the pick up and go, and so much had changed. It basically set me back to square one. You start with just one world. You got a couple of science ships, and you have to, go along and expand your borders, manage your home world, manage your one and only galaxy that you're in, and ever so bit by bit meet new civilizations, expand your borders, and kind of get new technologies to kind of push you through the rest of the game. However, it's not so simple. Like I said, there is a tremendous amount to do in this game. If you like management games, if you like management systems games, if you've ever played something like Civilization, you very well may like this. Now, I have played Civilization. I'm a Civilization vet. I would hands down say Stellaris is a ton more complicated than any Civilization game that I've ever played. It just goes into so much more depth than that. I think just the science side of it, the technology side of it, is so in depth, it's insane. I love the fact that you can also create your own civilization from scratch. If you've got an idea of a playthrough that you want to do, then you can pretty much just go ahead and do it. If you want to be the Borg, you could be the Borg. If you want to be the Klingons, you could be them. If you want to play as Star Wars and be the Jedi or the Sith, you can probably do that playthrough as well. Really, the story within this game is the story that you make. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a story in this game and you have to make up your own story completely. There's definitely things in this game and events in this game that you can do. And there's, some really cool, interesting side pop-ups that happen, like when Leviathans got added. That was a really cool, in-game event. Also, you get end-game crises as well. Like if you reach to a certain age within this game, then massive story-driven narrative things happen that kind of drive the rest of your game. But before you look at doing those things, I would literally just look at yourself, what you're doing, and get to grips with that sort of basis, because like I said, even creating your own civilization can be so in-depth and so mind-boggling. It's kind of crazy. But I personally really enjoyed this game. It's one of those games that you kind of pick up once you get into, and once you actually start playing, you can have a hell of a lot of fun with it. You've even got, DLCs that released like Apocalypse recently that allow you to have your own Death Star world cracker and destroy every planet in the universe. I mean, what kind of fun can't you have in this game? I also distinctly remember when they added Ascension perks back, I think it was last year for me. That rapidly changed my game again. The different civilization builds, different, methods to expand your borders and to expand who you are as a civilization. I really love just the amounts of possibilities that there are in this game, and there are some huge possibilities. The combat itself is actually really in depth as well. You can create and manage a number of ships, and you can actually build those ships yourself. In other words, design your own ship, how you want the layout of that ship to be, and and that kind of thing. And there's quite a few different types of ships as well, and there's more that's constantly being added. I believe Titans just got added in a recent DLC as well, which is an even bigger class of ship, which was quite cool. It adds an extra kick to the firepower, for instance, and the actual combat itself in maneuvering all of these ships around the galaxy or the universe is really entertaining. At the end of the day, it comes down to your number. Is your number of ship bigger than their number of ship? I think that on very few limited occasions, me being a smaller number or, has actually come out on top because I've got overwhelmingly superior technology on board my ships. But generally, it does come down to the number. So the bigger the number you can put together, the more likely you are to win. I do like the fact that you can control it's almost limitless. You can create a almost limitless number of armadas of ships dotted around your universe. The problem with that being is that late game, this game can suffer quite considerably with lag. Now, for me, my autosave ability, I needed to turn that off, but unfortunately, I was on Iron Man mode, and so autosave just kept propping up, and that was lagging my game out so bad. But something I've noticed is that on the next-gen console, on the Series S, you're able to progress speed so fast that it's making the autosave going a bit crazy. So that maybe needs to be fixed a little bit, or I need to play on a slower speed in order for, to stop that autosave. And maybe not even play on Iron Man mode. I don't know. But for me, I found that Iron Man mode kind of messed my game up a little bit. Whereas beforehand on the old school consoles, or, the old school Stellaris Console Edition, I never had that problem. But the lag was real. In endgame, when you have so many ships on your screen at once, especially with the current meta that was in place with you just making a lot of smaller ships, like attack ships, it would lag your game out so bad. Which was is a slight problem with this game. If you play wide, you're going to get lag. If you play tall, your game's going to run a little bit smoother. But even with that kind of lag and your game slowing down in the late game, I've got to give this game a massive thumbs up. Honestly, it's one of those games that blew me away. We get so little choice of this type of game on consoles that it was so nice to not only get a game, but it was so nice for a game to actually work and do such a great job. However, as I've already mentioned, this is not user-friendly. This isn't a game that you can just pick up and understand what you're doing. When I very first played this game, I started playing with a mate, and we together had to kind of like constantly talk to each other about what was working, what wasn't working, tips and tricks that we found. This is a game that is tough, but it's also a game that can be played online against other friends as well. I mean, my God, the amount of time you'd have to play with them in order to complete that. But that feature's there on the Xbox, on the PlayStation. You're able to play online, co-op or even PvP against each other, depending on how you guys want to, play your game. So it's got to be commended for, Paradox to be putting so many features and just taking care of the game so well over the time that they've had it, because I mean, this isn't a game that they've kind of just dropped. They are constantly chucking out more content, and it's constantly getting closer and closer to the PC version as well. Now, I understand fully that the PC version is way ahead of the console version, but it's nice to see that we are getting that love, and we are trying to get those features on the console as well, because like I said, there are honestly just so few games out there that kind of cater towards this type of thing. I think we've only just got a Civilization, or an up-to-date Civilization game on the Xbox. Stellaris being one of the only other 4K grand strategy games on the console as well. I believe there's maybe one other that I could mention, and that's about it. So, if you're looking for a 4X strategy game, there are so few of them about. But Stellaris is possibly the best I've ever played, and it earned a 7.5 out of 10 from me and the Critically Clueless. I do think that it's something to pick up if you're into these type of games, but be prepared to put a lot of time aside, because it's a game that does need time. If you're going to be playing it for a week and dropping it for a week and playing it for a week again, good luck remembering everything that you need to remember, and by the time you actually get halfway through your game, maybe they would have changed things again, so you're gonna have to get used to that. But guys, thank you very much for watching this review. If you have watched it, thank you very much for doing so. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I currently have 95% of all viewers not subscribed to the channel, so there's a massive amount of you out there watching these things that aren't subscribed. So hit that button, make sure you're helping us out. It's very much appreciated. And let me know your thoughts on Stellaris. Let me know if you've played this game, and this game's been out for a very long time, so let me know if you played it. Let me know your thoughts on it, or maybe if it's a game that you're looking to pick up, let me know what your current thoughts on it, maybe even your play style as well. Interested to know from you guys. But guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. And as is the current trend on the channel, if you are stuck with a review this long, thank you very much for doing so. And to just confuse the rest of the viewers who haven't stuck along this long, why don't you comment down below, what about the Space Donut? There are, of course, ring worlds in this game, but Space Donut just sounds so much better. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you later.